Great, and if you don't, too quiet. I am never known for being too quiet. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually doing delegation and I'm getting some students on, so rather than me sort of like showing off, they get the chance. I'm going to show you a little bit about how Ring Chun structures and picks up and plays on a practical level. So if I can get the vulnerability people that are going to get hurt. What we're going to try and do is show you two little areas. We're going to show how the Ring Chun is practiced in the classroom on my left, and then how messy and ugly it actually looks when you try and do it a little bit more practically on my right. So the guys on my left are going to sort of show what I call the sort of, theoretically, judging by who's up there, technically perfect application. You carry on. And then when they've done their, quote, technically perfect application drill, so you just get started. So just in a classroom we'll just be exploring simple tools, simultaneous stack defend, doing it with a partner. Our partner is not our opponent, they are training environment, so we're learning how to interact with our opponents. And this is just using a very simple touch and deflect action. On my right, at the same time, if you guys want to get started, if it's actually done in some sort of simplistic application, it's not quite as crystal clear, it's not quite how it looks in the movies, and it's pretty ugly and messy, but then, to be honest with you, combat is. The Ring Chun that I learned in Hong Kong really is geared towards how it works. It's not a pretty martial art, it's an ugly, messy, dirty little system to keep you stop you getting hurt. On my left, we're now going through a little drill here with another tool called Bong Sao. Bong Sao is used to intercept, react, to redirect force. Again, done in a close proximity areas. Combat is always done within fighting range, within touching range. It's not a long distance martial art. So when it's done in a drill, it's very simple, it's very safe, and it's a lot of fun, but you're training with a partner. Even on my right, and unfortunately this is oh, nice one. You're going. Even on my right, the movements aren't about street self-defense. This is not a real fight. It's as realistic as we can get with somebody just coming in and a training partner. But you'll notice that Umar's not being the kindest of people. We keep it nice and simple. All we want to do is get in, do our business, and get out. Ring Chun is not advocating violence. But given a choice between you get hurt or they get hurt, it's not a case of tossing a coin and considering your options. If somebody comes in to kidnap your daughter, I'm sure you're not going to do a little tap, a little punch and hope they run away. You're going to deal with the scenario. On my left, which is doing a very simple technique called lap side drill, basically intercepting the punch, redirecting the force, and then giving it a little back. Again, safe, simple, and just allows you to do repetitious drilling to get the neural pathways in the brain, learning the process. On my right, Umar's now going to do a little bit. Can you actually leave Stephen one piece for Monday, please? I do assure you they are friends. The idea of training is to do it realistic, with health and safety being an issue. At the end of the day, all techniques are pulled, all techniques are controlled, and all techniques are done nicely. Guys on the left, do you want to go into another drill? The reason we do these drills is that street self-defense or combat self-defense can be broken down into certain simple areas. In order for you to learn to do any particular martial art, any style on the planet, you need to have a tool set. The tool sets are called patterns, forms, katas, whatever you choose to call them. But they are simple solo routines and drills. Some fine examples have already been shown on this stage from many different martial arts. They are preset routines that you repeat and go over and over again in order to draw out and learn certain tool sets. Once you've got your tool set, what we then do is take that tool set, whether it's a Tan Sao, Pak Sao, Bong Sao, some of our hand tools, and we repetitively drill them over and over again, just to try and get the neural pathways in the brain learning the process, so what starts off as a conscious thought becomes a subconscious reaction, which is what they're doing on the left. Very safe, very simple repetition, just drilling high gate, low gate, covering high, covering low. Not against the real punch, not against the real attack, but just in the safety of a classroom. What we then do is we go into a little bit of one attack, one defend, where the person attacking doesn't have the ability to sort of decide what they're going to do. They just step in and see what the response is. The defender isn't pre-planning, they're not pre-programming to do a technique, there's no rules. They just respond with whatever they're given. So if a hook's thrown, they deal with a hook. If it's a jab, they deal with that. If it's a back fist or a ridge hand or a kick. What we tend not to do is spend time dealing with techniques that we're not going to face in a combat situation. So our jumping, spinning, ninja rolling kick we're not going to practice against because it's highly unlikely you're going to face it. What we then do is, once we've done our little bit of drilling, once we've done a little bit of one attack, one defend, one of the problems we face in combat is that once you've closed the range, which is what they were doing on my right hand side, you've then got this close proximity where the opponent's within striking range, throw their first punch. What do you do next? Well, if you're at very, very close range, if they throw that punch too fast and you get it wrong, you get hurt. If you throw it too slowly and you react to it quickly, your opponent gets hurt. So we have this very simple little game, which is a bit like adult patter cake, where we get two hands of contact and we then do this rolling and interaction. If you take the two guarantees of a street fight, and the only two guarantees in street combat is that there will be contact and there will be movement. If there is no contact, it's an argument, and if there's no movement, you're drunk and it's a tree. So there will be contact and there will be movement. What we do is we try and utilise that contact and movement to give us information. So through the contact and the arm contact, you'll notice there's no kicks, by the way. It's called sticking hands for quite a good reason. I think the name gives it away. We're not learning to defend against kicks and stuff like that. What we're learning to do is interact with our opponents. And we do it through sighted training first, but you don't really get a lot of chance to think and play. What we're then going to do is we'll then go into show you how we do. I did it earlier on, but we'll show how we do it blindfold. What you need to remember is this is a game. I once had somebody tell me that having watched this demonstration, it's not a very good fight. No, you're right, because I actually like the people I train with. It's a training action to try and learn how to control, restrain and dominate a situation. And the thing about sticking hands is you can do it hours and hours and hours. One of the beautiful things about sticking hands in Wing Chun that I've learned in many years of Hong Kong is my Cantonese is very, very poor. I can get my face slapped by many women and order food. The rest of it I lost. What I find is I can go to anybody on the planet, I can link hands with them and I don't need to speak their language. For me, Wing Chun is like an international language of its own. Chi Sao gives me the ability to talk to my Wing Chun brothers all around the planet, and for that in its own right I believe it's special. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to do a little bit of blindfold with Umar just to finish off. Sorry Joe, grab your pockets.